Hi, in this video, I'm going to be talking about why I keep getting attracted to the same type of crystal over and over again, why I keep getting drawn to buy the same type of crystal over and over again, why they keep catching my eye and just reeling me in, and I can't help but buy them. Maybe you have experienced something like that. You have a specific crystal that keeps coming back into your life in some kind of cyclical way. Like you think you're done with it, or that you've learned something from it and that you have worked with it enough, and you've experienced the energies and the lessons involved with working with that crystal, and then it's sort of just sitting in the background supporting you, and then one day you feel that urge to buy that crystal again, and it's the crystal that you must just have you experienced anything like that? Well, I have. I've just been right now into buying amethysts again. I have a lot of amethyst pieces, very many pieces of amethyst. My big one here that I really, really like, and I have like little clusters all over the place, and just beautiful pieces of amethyst. I mean, I can't just help it. Amethyst has been coming back into my life big time, like nothing else. I'm buying those pieces. I'm working with amethyst again. And this is one of the crystals that I first got like in the beginning of my spiritual journey. And what usually happens for most people is that most people who are awakening and evolving usually get attracted to amethyst because it's a spiritual stone that sort of has that activation that most of us know within. So when you see that amethyst piece, when you're starting off on your spiritual path, then you get activated and then you start remembering and then you buy it. And it's just one of those breadcrumbs that we left to remind us of who we are. So most people in the beginning of their spiritual journey are attracted to amethyst because it's that activator that really brings people into remembering who they are as spiritual beings and connecting to their higher consciousness and to source directly. So most people have amethyst. And then they work with amethyst, and then maybe after a while, amethyst lays in the background, supporting the process and allowing us to get other crystals that help us in different ways on our spiritual path. And then one day, amethyst comes back into your life again. After you may have ignored it for a while, then amethyst is back. Just like for me, amethyst is back big time. Why is amethyst back in my life? Why do these crystals keep coming around after a while? The same type of crystals. I mean, I should be probably going out to buy all these new crystals that are being, discovered everywhere. But some crystals just keep coming back because they still have work for you to do, and they're crystals that I call my guides. When you have that specific crystal that keeps coming back, it's almost like a guide. It's almost like the one that's taking you through the ladder of ascension step by step. So it will take you through the first ladder, and once you're there and once you've done the work, then it will disappear for a while and let you breathe and interact with other energies and other crystals, and then you'll go to the next step. So now I'm back into buying amethyst, and my favorite one, malachites. So I'm buying malachites, I'm interacting with malachites and different kinds of malachites and the energies of malachites and amethyst. So I'm just there. So why do these crystals keep coming back into our lives? What I'm learning is that crystals usually come back into our lives when the work is not complete. So when we started working out with amethyst, for example, I started working with amethyst, and maybe there's something that's not complete, that I was supposed to do in terms of my spiritual development. Amethyst is going to come back to you. It's just like life, you cannot avoid the lessons. You cannot avoid the learning and the growth process that is involved in life. Usually, people will always come back. The same kinds of people will always come back until you get it, The same situation. You'll be caught up in situations until you get it, The same kinds of experiences will always happen until you get it. Same thing with crystals. They'll keep coming back into your life until you get it, and then once you've got it, and then you can grow and move to the next level. So crystals will come back into your life to remind you that something is not complete, so that you can work on it and then move to the next level. And then also sometimes it just sort of shows you that you're ignoring something. You might move on with your life, and then the crystal will come back to remind you that you're probably ignoring something. You might have missed one thing here. You might have missed your path. For example, Crystals, like, what I'm learning is that, and because I know my crystals, I know my crystals, and I try my level best to understand what they mean. I know that certain crystals represent a certain thing. So for example, amethyst might represent the spiritual path for most people, right? You're working on your spirituality. So if you're ignoring something on about your spiritual path because of the color purple, purple is a very spiritual color, then amethyst will come back to remind you, stay on your track. Don't move to the left or to the right. Keep on the path. Don't waver. There are certain things that you have to understand with regard to your spirituality. So amethyst comes back to remind you of that. So the colors of the crystals that you are drawn to at any specific time, and the messages of those crystals can always direct you to your path. The crystal will leave your life and come back again to remind you that you're ignoring something, you're forgetting something. Stay on track. If you're working with green crystals, maybe it's a heart-centeredness that is involved, a healing energy that is involved. You need to heal yourself and love yourself. If you're working with the pink crystals, the pink energy is involved. You need to love yourself, whatever that means for you. If you're working with the blue crystals, the colors might indicate something that you're ignoring that you need to pay attention to. Otherwise, you might keep moving on, but a blue crystal, the same blue crystal, will keep calling you again and keep coming back into your life, because the bottom line of all this thing is to make us so much better, to heal us, to make us really who we are, so that we can stand in our power and really, really grow and expand the way we really need to be doing at this particular time. So crystals will go and they'll come back. They'll go and they'll come back, and you'll keep getting attracted to them. Another thing is that, let me say, I'm so attracted to amethyst now because I'm beginning to see the differences in so many things. In the beginning, it was just amethyst for me, and I'm working with amethyst on so many levels. And then I began to discover that the amethysts now that are coming into my life, I'm beginning to get interested in different aspects. Look at this amethyst point. It has some quartz on it. So this quartz is basically showing me and teaching me at this particular time that there's an amplification. It's on the face of the crystal. So there's an amplification of energy. Quartz is an amplifier. Of course, amethyst is quartz by itself, but the fact that it's on the face of the crystal, these little baby ones, the baby growths on the face of the crystal, it shows me that there's an amplification of the spiritual energy that is required at this particular time for me. So I got this quartz point, and this is the lesson that I need to amplify, I need to increase, I need to change, I need to shift upwards. So this is what this, in a spiritual way, so this is what this amethyst is teaching me at this time. So crystals also come back into your life to show you that there's another level to go. You have finished with the first level of amethyst, and now this is the second level. This is the next layer. It goes by layer, and just like this crystal here, look at this crystal. I love it so much. It almost has oops, the lighting just sucks. It has layers like a book, so it's almost like so layered. God. So in a way, it shows you there's one layer of work that has been done. So now you have to go to the next layer. Then you have to go to the next layer. Then you have to go to the next layer. So this is how crystals work. They help you move on to the next layer of things. So you have one type of amethyst, you find yourself drawn to another kind of amethyst, examine your crystal, learn from it. What is in this new piece that you got? And then learn the lesson. For me, this is an amplification of the spiritual energy that is required for me. So there's a lot of work that I have to do. I also got another piece here of amethyst point that it has this brown inclusions in it. They sort of look like mushrooms. I don't know if you can see them clearly. So this one has a lot of brown inclusions that I've never seen. They almost look like mushrooms. They're so different from the other ones that appear on this crystal here. This one has some black ones, if you can see it. But the markings on these ones are different. So it shows me that there's some kind of mineral energy. There's another kind of additional energy that requires deep insight that I need to look into when working with this particular crystal. So there's another layer of crystals, of energy when working with amethyst. So crystals take you deep. The new crystals that are coming into your life, even if it's the same kind of crystals, it's taking you deeper and deeper to examine that crystal and figure out what is the difference between this crystal and that other crystal. that I have? What's the difference between this amethyst and the other amethyst? What is this new energy here? What is required of me? It's required of me to amplify my energy. It's required of me to look into this new additional inclusion. There's something deeper inside the amethyst crystal. There's a new inclusion here, a new mineral that's trapped in here that I need to work with. If you're working with a crystal that has an inclusion inside it, like an inclusion is a mineral that is trapped inside a primary crystal, and it's usually different from the primary crystal. So figure out what is that new thing that's inside the main crystal that you need to work with, and then work with that. So crystals come into your life to help you go deeper, go wider, amplify, and change. That's another reason why a crystal will come back into your life again. So it's a good thing that the crystals keep coming. Just be careful, open your eyes, be sensitive to, and be aware of why a crystal is coming into your life, and then enjoy the benefits, and then keep growing and expanding. So another reason why a crystal can repeat itself in your life, or repeat its cycle in your life, is also to show you the new directions that you need to take in your life. If you're working with amethyst, maybe you really need to be spiritual. This is where you need to be at this particular time. If you're working with, the greens, or any kind of green crystal, like I said, maybe you really, really need to focus on the healing path and the healing, it will show you all these directions. Focus on the healing path of your life. Focus on communication. If you're working more with the red crystals and they're coming back into your life, focus more on your creativity. So they are really, really guides in that way. So crystals are just so amazing. I love them so much. So do you work with crystals? Are they coming back into your life? What are they teaching you? I would really, really like to know what particular crystals are drawing you back in, especially at this time. I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.